Hi everyone. Every week we speak to people who are convinced they already understand how to move to New Zealand, right up until they find out the one detail that changes everything. So today we're breaking down the top 5 misconceptions we see most often, because a wrong assumption early on can cost you months. The first misconception is that a job offer guarantees residence. People assume that once they've got a job offer in hand, residence is basically sorted. It isn't. A job offer might get you a work visa, but residence under the skilled employment categories still requires you to reach the appropriate criteria for that category, and that means your qualifications, your work experience, and the job itself all need to tick the correct boxes. We often see people who get to New Zealand on work visas only to find out they aren't eligible for residence. Immigration New Zealand will not tell you if your job offer makes you eligible for residence when they issue your work visa, so it's important you know where you stand before you land in New Zealand. The second misconception is that any job will qualify you. People assume that if a job sounds skilled, it counts. Immigration New Zealand doesn't work on assumptions, it works on policy. Your role generally needs to meet a specific wage requirement, often linked to the particular wage threshold, and it needs to be deemed skilled. We regularly see well-paid, genuinely skilled workers get turned down simply because the wage or classification didn't match what the visa required. Likewise, we also see people who are in roles which are deemed unskilled, who have assumed they are on a pathway to residence simply because they have obtained a job offer in New Zealand. The third misconception is that you can just figure out the point system yourself. This one is understandable. People think the point system is simple enough to work out on their own. On the surface, it looks like basic maths. In practice, it's full of detail that trips people up, unrecognised qualifications, work experience that doesn't count the way applicants expect, and job offers that look fine but don't actually meet the criteria. Getting this wrong doesn't just slow things down, it can lead to a declined application that becomes part of your immigration history going forward and costs you thousands of dollars. The fourth misconception is that an overseas recruiter's guaranteed job offer is safe. This one also matters for your wallet as much as your visa. People trust job offers that arrive out of nowhere, promising high pay and an easy path to residence. Immigration New Zealand has repeatedly warned about this exact pattern. If an offer sounds too good to be true, it usually is. A legitimate employer or recruiter cannot charge you for a job. If someone's asking for money upfront to secure your position, that's not a job offer, it's a scam. The last misconception is that minor health issues or old expunged convictions don't need to be declared. People assume that if something feels minor or if it's been legally wiped from their record overseas, they don't need to mention it. Immigration New Zealand disagrees on both counts. Health conditions are assessed against a specific cost threshold, and convictions, including ones expunged or spent under another country's laws, generally still need to be declared. Leaving either out isn't a shortcut. It's treated as withholding information, and that's often a bigger problem than the original issue. These are 5 common misconceptions, and every one of them can turn a straightforward move into a declined application if they go unchecked. The pattern across all of them is the same. Assumptions feel reasonable until Immigration New Zealand's actual rules say otherwise. That's exactly what a licensed advisor is there for, to test your assumptions before INZ does. Get in touch with New Zealand Shores and let's find out where you really stand.